Welcome to the Marketing Cheat Code podcast, where smarter marketing creates accelerated growth.
Hello and good morning. Welcome to the Marketing Cheat Code, the podcast where we unpack how brands grow, evolve, and stay human in a world driven by technology. I'm Tracey Austin Grooms, Chief Marketing Officer at Full Circle Consulting, where we help founders and operators turn strong brands into scalable systems using strategy, storytelling, and AI as accelerators, not replacements. Today's conversation sits at the intersection of culture, creativity, and connection. My guest is Brandelyn Anderson, founder of The Joy Builder, a brand known for crafting immersive experiences that center joy, identifying, and belonging. Brandelyn, welcome to the show.
Tracey, thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to talk with you today.
Awesome. I am excited for this interview as well. Um, this is a moment unlike any we've ever had in history. So it's important for us to tell those stories of how we're ideating or innovating around technology to still make very human and immersive experiences in different industries and spaces. So thank you for taking the time to talk to me today.
Of course.
Brandelyn, we're in a moment where stories are everywhere, but true connection feels rare. Why does this moment demand not just amplifying African American voices, but doing so through immersive, intentional experiences? And what do we lose when those stories aren't held with that level of care and celebration?
So, part of the reason why I wanted to do this work was because, coming off of COVID, I know that's seems like 100 years ago, it was five. Coming off of COVID, we really did lose our sense of connection and we really were craving that. But I really wanted to make sure that the connection was authentic, that we were all in the same room because we have things in common, because we can learn from each other and grow from each other. So it really is about bringing people together with intentionality. Like, sure, you can have an event, throw people in a room and hope for the best. But I like to make sure that people really understand and feel the work that went into the art, the artists, the authors, or whatever have you, and really have a way to connect and bond with each other over their shared love of that. And I think that what we may be missing is just, again, that connectivity. Like, there's so many things, so many divisive things happening now, right? And there's so many things trying to keep us apart, trying to erase Black history, trying to erase, culture, all of that. And so I think really, telling the world, like, no, we're here, we're still gathered, we're still here to celebrate, we still love each other, we're still here to uplift each other, and putting that on display with these events, I think has really been the most beneficial piece for me, to see everyone just kind of come together and celebrate.
Absolutely. What responsibility do brands have when they're working with culture, current day, not just audiences?
Listen, get to know the markets, get to know who you're talking to, and be authentic. One of the things that drives me crazy is I don't know if y'all remember, I'm gonna age myself, but those old school commercials where it's something to do with maybe McDonald's, and it was this rap song with all these Black, and it's just yo, are you okay? We're gonna come to McDonald's, you don't have to Target like that, So I think really understanding the needs. I think if we really look at Target, the store, right? Prior to everything that happened, they were really hitting the nose on the head. They were really being intentional with the businesses that they were working with, getting to know the audiences, what works, what doesn't work, who are the influencers that we should be partnering with. It was very, very intentional. And that's why it was such a huge blow when everything shifted. However it shifted, I didn't deep dive, I don't understand, right? But I think that really truly understanding who you're talking to and why you're talking to them, and why you want to engage with them and get them to understand your brand, I think is really what is most important in my eyes.
Absolutely agree with that. Joy Builder doesn't just host events. I mean, you do a lot of literary events which are crucial because
Yes.
the advent of AI and audible books, it's almost like it's a lost art to have
Hmm.
or to see anybody with a book in their hand.
Yes.
So I
Yes.
applaud you for that, firstly. But you don't just do literary events. You host a myriad of events. You
Yes.
design moments that make people feel seen and deeply connected. Looking back, what decisions or instincts, um, or even your non-negotiables, what do you believe most shaped your growth and truly set Joy Builder apart in a crowded experiential space?
I think what truly, truly, truly sets my brand and me, the person, apart is relationships. I used to be an executive director for a nonprofit here in DC, and I had to clean up a lot of things. And the best and first most important lesson I had to learn was building relationships and building trust. Right. So people will come to an event that I'm hosting, no matter what it is, if it's a book, if it's for not whatever it is, because they know and trust me. They have a relationship with me and my brand. And so I think it's really important to build relationships. So I only work with brands that I have purchased from, that I've supported. So I know the quality of their work. I know the quality of their customer service. And for me, like, and I can also see gaps that they may have. And because we have a relationship, I can say, hey, have you thought about XYZ? And then they become clients, right? On the marketing side. So it really is about understanding, getting to know, trying and testing, and not everyone is a good fit for that moment, but that doesn't mean they won't be a good fit in the future. So maintaining those relationships, I'm the one you'll randomly just get a hey, just thinking about you, how are you doing message, or hey, just wanted to check in, how are things going, for me, and you won't only hear from me when I need something. And I think that's the difference, right? And so yeah. So really it's just about relationships. That's been the biggest piece, because those relationships will take you far, and they will help you expand and grow, and also, spread the word, and make sure people know what you're doing, because you build that trust.
Absolutely. And relationships are proof not just of satisfaction, but of impact that
Absolutely.
you can do together. Um,
Absolutely.
yeah. So do you ever feel tension between staying deeply personal and relevant versus building systems that would allow you to grow?
Yes. Because my dear friend and mentor, and you helps me with this beautiful magical document called a P&L sheet. Right. I was like, literally before I was just going on vibes, like, yeah, sure, whatever, we'll figure it out. But that's not a good business model. It was different when I had a full-time job to lean on. But now that this is my full-time job, I have to move differently and think differently. And so it really is important to make sure that I am maintaining the integrity of a Joy Builder event, where it is personal, it is detailed, it is deep, but I'm not working on vibes anymore. Just, like, sure, that's okay. I'll figure out the money on the back end, right? No, 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 baby. We got to figure it out on the front end and then move forward. So I think it really is important to know that balance. Like, there's some things I just have to make concessions on because it's just not in the budget. But that doesn't mean that it lessens the impact of the event. It just means that you can't have a custom journal, um, that I had curated for this particular event because it's not in the budget. Right. And so really just kind of thinking through those pieces, it's been really interesting learning like the business side, and understanding those bottom lines has been very, very helpful.
Mhm. What challenges have emerged as you've tried to scale in a digital first market?
Getting paid, I think, because I am in a new realm, right? Like, this is now my full-time job. And yes, I do have a reputation and I do have events under my belt, but it's still a brand new job. And so really just understanding and saying, like, okay, I really want to do this event for you, but I know you can't afford it, but I'm going to do it anyway, right? And so getting out of that mode where it's like, these are my services, and this is what my services cost, and that is it, right? And so I think for me, I'm still the nice one, like, oh, it's okay, we'll figure it out. But it's trying to get out of that realm into the more like, what's going to work best for both of us, and not always being the sacrificial lamb.
Absolutely. And you're at the precipice of where um not just impact passion work collides with profitable work. And
Yes.
it can be, it actually is the place where this is the moment where most experience led brands either stall or they evolve.
Yes, yes.
So
And this has
you're
definitely been a huge period of evolving for me because there's certain systems that I naturally had in place. I used to work for a performing arts nonprofit here in Washington, D.C. There, I had built in everything. I had built in venue. I didn't have to worry about renting tables and chairs and plates and all that stuff. It was all there. So learning like, oh, so now I need to make sure that this is a part of my plan and my strategy and my budget. I have to plan for that. That changes things. And so just being able to adapt and move with that has been like a really important lesson, and looking for, better options that are just as impactful but not as expensive. So just kind of thinking through like what are the things that we can do to, again, maintain the integrity of the event, the opportunity, the relationship, without sacrificing the bottom line.
yeah. And just leaning into that question a little deeper around technology being an amplifier of the experience. How do you envision technology helping bridge the gap between referral-based growth and digital discovery without losing the intimacy that defines your brand?
So I think I've been leaning heavily into learning AI. I think we all just kind of need to. It is what it is. But I also understand that AI doesn't work unless we work with it, right? Really learning how to so for example, I have a client who is starting a Substack. I had never heard of Substack before I started meeting with her. I didn't know what it was. There's too many options. I'm an auntie now. What Instagram, that's all you're getting from me. That's it, right? And so using I was able to really learn not just like what is this, but what are the peak times to post on this particular app? What are things that drive engagement? What's a strategy that I can use to get more paid subscribers for her and all that good stuff? And so really learning it, using it as a tool to learn, but also like, hey, I need to create these graphics. Like I'm becoming a whiz on making my little AI graphics. Like I'm so proud of myself because I'm not a graphic designer. That's not my strength. I can get in Canva, but it's going to take me a couple of days, right? But learning how to use those tools to get things done in a quality way, in a time efficient way that allows me to move on to something else while things are kind of working in the background. So it's kind of like having a team, right, in the background to help move things forward, because I'm literally one person doing it all. So I know that I have my Joy bot, which I've named Chat GPT, that they know that that's its name now, and my boyfriend Claude, and just kind of working with these tools to keep the work moving forward when it physically can't just be me doing it all. So I think that's what's been really helpful. But getting the strategies, learning how to work with it, not against it, but also like learning how to ask the right questions, how to ask the right prompts, and those types of things have been really, really beneficial and helped me be a lot more efficient with my work.
Hmm. And when you think about tools like AI or personalization platforms like your Joybot, where do you see real opportunity for experience-driven brands?
So I think that being able to highlight and capture the experience, right? And so like being able to do the videos or being able to do the promotions and things like that, where it's not just like a picture of a flyer. It's like, hey, come to my event, right? But you have, the AI. I did my first AI generated commercial for the event that I have on Sunday, and it was really cool. I was like, listen, this is the vibe. This is what I want it to be. And it got a ton of engagement because it was a little movie, you know what I mean? And so it was really cool to just to be able to utilize that. So I think it's just super duper important to have that balance. Like it was my idea, but this tool brought it to life, right? And so I think that's sort of how being able to capture the essence of what you're trying to do, get people excited about it. You want to be in this room. You weren't in this room. This is what you missed. So you want to be in the next room. I've found that people have missed out on an event. They're like, when's the next one? Right. And so wanting to make sure that they're able to get into it because all they see is what I can post on social media or, send via email or through my CRM. And my website has been wonderful to work with. It's been a wonderful tool. So I think it's really important to find the ways to capture that essence and not just in the old school ways of one single picture, one single post. Yay, come on through, right? So that's been really fun to explore as well.
Yeah, I can definitely concur with that. Even though we have agencies sometimes that works on our pieces, it's nothing like when you are touching the brand yourself and
Yes.
shaping. The smartest brands are using tech to remove friction so the human moments can shine brighter. Where
Hmm.
where do you believe technology could actually increase joy rather than dilute it across your customer's journey?
I'll be honest, I can't speak for my customers, but I can speak for myself. It brings me joy by giving me time and space to keep things. I'm not stressed out. I'm not behind. I'm not worried because I'm like, okay. Is it like literally one day I was like, I have so many things floating in my brain. I don't know what to do. I literally sat down with my Joybot and I said, I did a full brain dump and it helped you organize my day. And like, these are the pockets of times you need to get all this done. And I ended that day feeling so productive and I got everything done because in my head it was too jumbled. But truly, 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 I think with the audiences and the guests, my being organized makes their experience a lot better, right? And so like if I'm cool, calm and collected because I have these tools in place, I know I can, pre set up my email to go out at a certain time and I don't have to worry about it. I can go on about my day. I can, set up XYZ. I can have my plan for the week for this posting and that, all that. I think it really does give me more space to pour in that joy into the actual experience for the guests. And so I think that's what's been super beneficial on my end. And hopefully for the guests as well, because they keep coming back.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So in a world saturated with content,
Hmm.
thing is content now.
Yes.
Content is king. How do you
Everything is
educate?
content.
Yes, everything is content. How do you educate audiences on the value of experiences, not just services?
So I think that it's not necessarily a need to educate. We know we want that. We want to be connected. We want to be together. Some of the biggest feedback I've received from my events is like, I want more time to network. I want more time to walk around. So a lot of my events have become less of a sit down meal and more of a, cocktail, situation where people can walk around and engage with each other and be interactive with the space. And so I really do think that, people want to get their money's worth, right? They really want to make sure that, especially in these times with, everything being what it is, if I'm going to spend this money, it needs to be worth my time. It needs to be worth my, leaving the house and all that good stuff. But I think that people really do crave and want that connection and they really do want to feel, to meet new people and to, be in new spaces and to get dressed and to do those posts like I was out and about, so I really do think that the need and the want is there. It's really about, making sure that people understand the value in what they're purchasing if they've never been to that particular venue before, event before, whatever have you. So I think that is the piece, and that's where that reputation, those relationships come in as well. Is like, this is the value. Like, no, you need to go to this. Don't want to miss it. So it really is just about making sure that is stable.
Couldn't agree with you more, especially since, we're in that place of, like you said, experiences being everything. We lead with experience. And when we bring a customer into a space, then they are able to experience the value of the service. So,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
What role does storytelling play in helping clients understand why joy driven experiences matter?
So that's super interesting you asked that because I literally just had that conversation. I just completely redid my website because
Okay.
I was like, this isn't the vibe. You know what I mean? Like the original website. And so it was really about like, what story am I trying to tell? What do I want people to feel when they come to my website, right? Do I want them to be intrigued by what we have going on? It's not just, oh, you've worked with so and so, you've worked with so and so. Like that's a huge blessing, but it's more so like so and so is involved in this because of this joy, because they're excited, because they're going to come and have a good time, because they have this vibe. And so it really is about making sure that the story that I'm telling, that I'm reflecting that. Like if I came into my events cussing everybody out and got on stage talking about I'm the joy builder,
Right.
are you okay? You know what I mean? So it really is about like, making sure that what I'm giving out is authentic. Like this is just me. I'm a vibe. Like I know that. And so like, just making sure that that is authentic. So the authenticity really does play into that because it's not necessarily a story, it's my story. Right. And so making sure that the guests know and feel that. Like, I have so many pictures, and it's kind of funny because my photographer now captures this. I'm always giving hugs to people at my events. Like, it's just my thing. And so, like, I have a picture at every event with me just hugging people, friends or not. And so, but it really is, I want you to feel like you're welcome and you're coming home, right? And so it really is about authenticity, right? And so you can feel that in who you see online versus who you see on the website versus who you see in person, all have to be the same. Right. And so I think that's sort of what, authenticity is the baseline of any story that I like to tell.
That makes so much sense. And I've for a while been saying that experiences are becoming the new currency of brand loyalty. I
Yes.
feel like you just gave the perfect case study to attest to that. When you
Yes.
have customers following you, asking you for more time, and when is the next event? That, if nothing else, shows how impactful experience is in the fiber of every brand.
That's my favorite question. What's the next one, child? I don't know. I'm working on it, right? So, like, but it's wonderful because it really is. I feel like so blessed to be able to create these spaces where, so back in the, I'm really going to age myself right now, Tracey. Don't judge me. Back in the
Okay.
AOL days, my handle used to be called Searching for Safe Spaces. That was so dramatic in my Jill Scott phase, right? Um, but it was really about like having space where you can take your shoes off, theoretically, right? Where you feel comfortable, you feel safe, you can let your hair down, you can be yourself. And that's what I really like to bring, right? I want people, a lot of my events are for and about Black folks, right? Like, we need spaces where we can just be celebrated, where we can be our best selves, where Black excellence can thrive, Black girl magic can blossom, all of that, where it's just implied, right? And so you don't have to perform. You can just come and be with your people. And I think that's really what is has become the most important piece to all of this for me in this brand.
I love that because you are literally giving the customer, the loyalist, the opportunity to come in your space and be themselves, be
Yes.
authentic. And in this world where nothing seems to be authentic
You know,
or real, this is refreshing.
literally, and this is gonna sound silly, but I just like cleaned out 50% of my clothes because I was like, I'm not going back to this corporate life. You're gonna meet Brandelyn as she is. You know what I mean? You're gonna get these Black History sweatshirts. You're gonna get these head wraps. You're gonna get all of that because that's who I am. And like, I realized how long I'd been performing in that corporate space, right? Where we have to,
Yeah.
gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah.
But really understanding that who I am is enough and what I bring to the table has gotten me to all of those tables. And so being able to fully walk in my authenticity and just relearn who I am, like, who's Brandelyn, not who's Brandelyn, the employee or the senior director of blah, 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 right? But who is Brandelyn, the human, and what do I want to bring and what is my legacy, right? And so I think being able to shed a lot of that weight of trying to be what I'm asked to be and not who I am has been the biggest blessing in being able to reflect that joy, like that joy and that energy into this work, and not even just the events, but into my clients and into the marketing events that not events, but the marketing clients that I have really has brought me a lot of peace, which gives me more ideas, more energy, more things. And so it really is wonderful to kind of be in that space now.
Okay. Now
And
I go
Goodwill
ahead.
got a whole bunch of bags, so
Exactly. Wonderful. You
whole bunch.
gave, you gave and you gave all in one svelte swoop.
Yes.
Um, when you look ahead 3 to 5 years, what does a fully evolved joy builder company look like?
Oh, that's the dream, right? I think that What I envision for the Joy Builder is we still keep it small, keep it intimate, but I have more of a team to keep things moving, right? So we can do multiple events in multiple cities around the world because, America's cool, but we want to do it all, right? But I think being able to have like curriculum on, balance and bringing that and managing that joy for yourself, and like working with a lot of the small businesses that I do to do summits and to do organizations. Like one of the biggest things that I'm planning, and this is top secret for the podcast. Um,
Don't say
um,
inside.
One of the things that I really, really want to do is working with, I have an author that I'm working with, Nicole Carr. Her book is coming out in June. And she was talking, and it's a nonfiction book. It's beautiful about the experiences of like Black doctors and their struggles to become doctors and all of that, like the history. Like her great grandfather was one of the first Black graduates, I believe, from Howard University, right? So like goes way back. But what she was talking about when she and I met was the toll it had taken on her as a human being writing this book, the things that she had to research and read, and the horrible things that she learned that she couldn't even necessarily include in the book. She still has to carry that with her. And so what I want to do is host mental health retreats for Black nonfiction writers where they can kind of come together, get it all out, because I can't imagine like you're promoting this book and the trauma that learned while promoting this. It's like, it's nothing about the book, but it's just like the things that you can recall, right, as you're talking about this. So being able to give that space. I also want to start the Joy Builder Foundation where I can give grants to small businesses. Like if I were to get $25,000 gift right now, don't say anything to me. We're locked in. Like, this is great. So being able to provide that to a small business who is, getting started, doesn't have to necessarily be super established. Like sometimes you just need that money to go, and be able to provide that. And then also to be able to do these retreats is something that's really, really on my mind. So Joy Builder Foundation, the mental health retreats, expanding the team. I have a lot of really incredible women in my life that I would love to just hire and get them out of their crazy jobs and give them the opportunity to do this work. But also, what do you want to do? What are your lifelong goals? Because it's hard to be able to think about that when you have so many responsibilities. So I think that being able to expand into giving grants, into giving courses, all of that to help Black businesses grow and get started, I think is really what I envision for the future.
Brandelyn, this conversation has been such a powerful one about not just business, but about an experience, but about passion work, actually the human connection and why we do what we do as founders.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's really about intention, culture, and humanization more than
Yes.
anything. And I love
Yes.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, because I think, we're all professionals and we know how to do the things and we have the skills, but you have to be a person too, right? And I think my last experience at work really taught me that, where yeah, I could hide behind this mask, but you're not going to get my full self. You're not going to get fully me, and I'm going to be unhappy. And I'm spending all this time in this place where I'm giving 30% of myself, right? When I could be doing so much more. And so, being in a space where I am free to give 100% of myself, my talent, my creativity into this work to bring joy, right, I think is a huge blessing. And so it really is about the human side, but also how we utilize again our resources to make sure that your human side can remain soft and human and not haggard like it was a few months ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
For sure.
Thank you so
Yeah,
much, Brandelyn. Thank you so much for your time.
of
And
course.
for our listeners, here's today's cheat code. Technology doesn't replace joy, it scales it, it protects it, and it helps it reach the people who need it most. Where can people connect with you and learn more about the Joy Builder and upcoming events, Brandelyn?
Absolutely. So, as I mentioned, I am popular on Instagram, or active on Instagram, maybe not popular, but and my Instagram is at the Joy Builder. My website is brandelynanderson.com, and that is the most up to date with upcoming opportunities. And if you want to do a session where we sort of talk about some of your goals and things like that, I have a way for you can sign up and we can do a consultation and talk through that. But the website, brandelynanderson.com, and at the Joy Builder on all social platforms except TikTok, is where you can find me.
Awesome. Thank you for tuning in to the Marketing Cheat Code. Keep building experiences that matter, keep embracing innovation with intention, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in to the Marketing Cheat Code podcast, where smart marketers unlock their next big win. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your favorite cheat code.